either I can have a perfect week and I can get all my workouts in, I can get my steps in, I can count my calories. And if I can't do that, well, I can't do it. And it's like, then they completely fall off.
The association that this is who I am, this is how I live my life, this is how we're going out with our friends.
And we had a guy recently drop like 40 kilos, like it absolutely changed his life around. For him, he was probably at rock bottom, where he's like, I have to do this, I have to make a change.
The pain of change is still greater than the pain of staying the same.
You know, like, what is it that guys struggle with? It is the all or nothing mindset. That is probably the most critical thing that guys struggle with.
Like, we're working with a lot of clients in Mexico. It's just like, oh, I can't do business if I don't drink.
Most guys, there's a barrier of entry there, right? Like, oh, I don't want to work out today, I can't be bothered, like, it's just not what I want to do. But then when they do it, you feel amazing, you feel great, and then you get, obviously, you know, for the rest of the day afterwards, you feel even better.
Everybody wants to change, or everybody wants a different outcome.
Yeah.
But the resistance to change is so hard. And it's the same thing for you. It's the same thing for me right now. It's just for every level, there's another devil.
We should strive for everything. And I guess that's what some of these guys want. I think they identify their health is probably the one thing they don't have. Because I've had a lot of guys that are there before. They've openly told me that.
How's Bali? You've been here for, what, 2 months now? Or
mate, I love it here, honestly. Obviously, last time I came here, I had a great time. This time, a little bit more settled here. Yeah, it's a place I can see myself staying for a long time. I completely get why, you know, you've chosen this to be your home now for the last few years.
Yeah.
So how long have you been here for now?
I've been here for, coming up to 4 years. And dude, I was supposed to be here for like two weeks.
Really?
2 weeks, yeah. Came from Australia. I was supposed to go to the US, and then I had a pit stop here for 2 weeks, and then turned into like,
and you stayed here
4 months.
Really?
Yeah. And then I actually went to the US. And then Dubai, you know, that's where we met and stuff. And then just constantly just been pulled back here.
So when we met in Dubai, like, how long were you here for before then? Like, how?
I think we met at the mastermind.
Yeah, I was about maybe like 2 years ago. So were you living here, but then, like, how long were you here for?
Yeah, I was living there then. I think maybe if it was the first mastermind we met, I lived in Dubai there for 2 months. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you were like almost like testing it, or just
testing Dubai? Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's interesting. And you didn't feel like it was as good?
Dude, I was living like right next to, I was living in the marina next to a, what's it called?
Construction site?
The gas well, you know, where they're like creating gas and oil.
Yeah.
And, dude, I literally felt like waking up every morning. I was like charged. My hair was like falling off, and like, it was just.
It was like, maybe actually like very stressed being in Dubai. I feel like you're in a stressed state a lot more. Whereas I feel like here, it's just more chilled. You usually enjoy it. But don't get me wrong, this is still really productive. I find that was one thing I wasn't sure about. I was like, am I going to be in the same mindset of wanting to work and wanting to grow? And I just think this whole like Dubai mindset thing is actually a load of rubbish. I spoke to Matt about this the other day. It's about, you know, people will feel that they have to be in Dubai to be able to like grow their business and stuff like that. And it's almost like the best place to be. Don't get me wrong. Like, there is an energy there like that. Yeah. But you can still replicate that in other places in the world.
100%.
Since I've been here, like, you know, we had a really good month last month. I don't find that me being here is any kind of like detriment to me growing the business at the same time.
It's a mindset, you know. I was listening to one of my friends. He's in the coaching space yesterday, and he created a post on Instagram where he was talking about most people are escaping the matrix to enter a new matrix.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Do you think about that? Sometimes it's like we're just creating our own boxes to live within, and then we're justifying like, that makes sense to do it like that because that's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, and it's almost like your belief is from what you see on like Instagram or like all these kind of like influencers and stuff that you see. I feel like that's how Dubai got to that position. Don't be wrong, like, it's obviously there's a lot of benefits to being there, but because I think a lot of successful people went there and obviously started making content, it just almost hooked people into that. But I think people get into almost like the wrong mindset in Dubai as well a little bit. I feel like sometimes people go there and then, you know, they start living within there, but without their means, they start spending more. They start then getting into the whole Dubai lifestyle of like being too lavish and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I know that like certain coaches have gone there and like almost just spent what they're earning. So it's almost like it's not like it's actually benefited them to.
It's actually harmed them in some.
Exactly. You know, that's what I love about being here. Like, as much as the here is just the cost of living is so much cheaper, but it's almost like you can't really spend big here, in my opinion. Like, since I've been here, like, I'm like very like free with spending. Like, I'll obviously eat out most days, like, you know, body fat free most days, but we'll buy something. But even that, like, it doesn't cost much at all. Whereas in Dubai, you've got to be careful. Like, if you go now and just tap in every day, you're gonna spend a lot. Yeah. And I think for us, like, obviously, you know, or for anyone who's smart, right, it's like you want to set yourself up in a place where you have a great life, but you also are living within your means. You're not spending loads. You're setting yourself up for success. You're putting money away. I think it's a bit similar. You think you're saving money in Dubai, but actually you're not. Like, you're spending a lot more. So
Yeah.
that's what I like about being here. I think I'm going to spend more time here now than being in Dubai. I definitely would still go back there, and I'm going to still spend time there and stuff like that. But I think that this is a good place to be.
Yeah.
This is a good place.
It's a mindset, like I was 20. I grew up in the countryside in Denmark, so wasn't exposed to any big cities, wasn't exposed to anyone making money or anything growing up. It was just, I don't know, with you, traditional.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Like the UK is a little bit like that, but yeah, kind of similar. Yeah.
See, I think that's the point that, I was 22, and then if people don't change that, they're 32 or 42 or like, that's the error. Like, that's where it's like, you need to change your environment. And then I think, as you said, like the Dubai lifestyle or another lifestyle pulls people automatically to that. I think there's something to be said around, it's almost like you see, like, you're in the UK, I'm in Denmark, and we're our age right now. And then you see the Instagram, and it pulls you to that location because you feel, as you say, that's the path you're going to take. But I think there's some delusion in that. And it's almost, I don't know with you, but it's almost like you can see who's the real deal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? There's so much, dude, I can smell it, I can sense it, I can hear it. And I think the real dealness, the quality of that individual's growth comes through just doing.
Yeah.
And probably doing it in the stages and the sequence necessary. If that makes sense?
Yeah, I agree.
Right?
I know what you mean. I think that, there's a lot of people, there's a lot of coaches or people in Dubai that, I don't want to, like, fake is, it's hard to say fake, but it looks like they're doing very well, or it looks like they're very successful on the outside, but actually, it's not potentially the case, like, when you look into some of these things. But when did you leave Denmark then? So what was the reason, for that?
Dude, I always just wanted to live outside. I remember, like, going on holidays, every year, like, I was like jiggly every single time we left the border. So I just knew, since I was a child, since I was a young kid, I wanted to live outside. And just kind of like, I did my fitness at the thing, obviously dealt with drug addiction from the age of 14 to 18.
Yeah.
And fitness really became that sort of like recovery, rehab process of just working on myself and training. And then I took that sort of to the natural extreme from 18 to 22, where I competed.
Right. So you competed when you were in Denmark?
Yep.
Yeah.
Competed these 3 years. And that was sort of like, that was okay, I'm done with everything, and I'm like cleaned up. And it was just the natural next step. I knew I wanted to move out. And then I just took a one-way ticket to Australia. Literally decided within 2 months, boom, bought the ticket, and then flew out.
What did you do when you went to Australia? Were you already on like coaching there?
No. Like, I was just like pretty much straight out of competition mode. Like, I was a big guy, 105 kilos, like coming off everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just working factory job, like to get some money and stuff. I just remember. And I feel like we should go in and speak about that. It's like the mindset about money.
Yeah.
I was 22 years old, and dude, it's like, for me to save back then, it was like, I think I left with around 10K. Dude, it was like, I'm like, how am I ever going to put 10K aside?
Yeah.
How am I ever going to make $10,000? It took me, you know what I mean? It took ages.
Yeah.
So finally did that, and that was my goal, get $10,000 in the bank, and that just, left.
Okay, nice. And then what was the reason why you went to Australia? Was there anything that pulled you there?
Yeah, just, visas. I think, it's far away. I always wanted to go to the US. Yeah, it's far. Yeah, it's far. So I think, I actually can't remember what it was. I just remember there was a few people I knew of that been there, and they said it was really good. But yeah, dude, like, just went down there and then started working as a laborer. You know what I mean?
That's what a lot of people do when they go to Australia, isn't it?
Yeah. You get her out.
Yeah.
And looking back, dude, it was so much fun.
Yeah.
I met a good friend. He's from the UK. We lived together, and all we did was just work and have fun.
Yeah.
Zero worry.
Just an easy life back then, right? Like, I've had this when I was younger, like almost at university, I had no money, but I had no stress. Like, it was just, it was easy. But I wouldn't go back to that. Like, it's not like I'm like, what I miss those days, but at the same time, it's nice to have less responsibility and have to not worry about, certain parts of business. Like, I'm sure you stress about sometimes. It's almost like it's a different part of your life, I guess. Yeah. You grow up, like you say, your mindset around money changes. And then I guess with where we're at now, like everything changes, right? Like it's like you're constantly, I feel like we're constantly working or stressed to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Whereas back then, like, my stress was like, what am I going to have for dinner? Like, you know what I mean? Like, when I was at university, it's just, I wasn't working hard, you know what I mean? I was just dossing a little bit. I got my degree in the end, but like, I wasn't really putting a lot of effort.
Yeah.
But I think naturally as you grow up, like, you just things start to change, and the money changes. I think like one of the best things that you can do is why it's interesting. Obviously, you do exactly the same. Is like, I do think that leaving your home country, at least leaving your home city, is probably one of the best things you can do. Is
you have to.
Yeah.
When did you leave? Like,
So I left. I probably had like 2 stages of this growth, because I left my hometown, which was my initial comfort zone, when I went to university. So I'd have been about 20, because I had 1 year out before I left sixth form. And that was a step up. Like, that was when I moved down to Portsmouth, like south coast of the UK. And that was for me like a big stage of growing up. I wasn't being like coddled by my mum anymore. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was having to live like fend for myself, or that kind of stuff. That was like the first part of really understanding like what it's like to live for myself. I think the biggest growth happened when I did move to Dubai. Like that was like, right, like holy shit. Like, yeah, I'm now like,
it worked. It worked for you, yeah.
It did. Yeah, I think like that was, if I look back now, that was probably like the most like critical step in my
transformational. Yeah,
transformational. Yeah, 100%. Like, I definitely grew up a lot when I was in the UK, and obviously I started growing my business. And FitLab was a thing before, but that step from leaving the UK, coming to Dubai, like, I didn't really know anyone in Dubai. I had a very loose connections at the time, but that's what like got me out of my comfort zone. Like, shit, okay, it's time to grow. The first 6 months in Dubai was quite tough. Like, business didn't grow as much as what I wanted it to, and obviously, as we said about where else they live in, you're like, shit. I saved up a lot of money. Like, I was in a pretty good spot, but that's when like I grew up, and I really started to grow up a lot. And I think ever since then, like the last 2 years has been another like path of just like transformation. So I do think like any young guy that's listening to this, I just think that like, it is important to try and move out your comfort zone, whether that is just simply moving to another city, but definitely moving countries, it helps you level up
at some point, like, and a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I don't want to travel, I'm not that kind of thing, but it's like, it's just
see the world, man.
Dude, you don't know. It's so
crazy. Like, honestly, like, and again, I don't mean any disrespect to anyone in the UK that that hasn't traveled, but if I think about what I've seen in this last 3 or 4 years of travel, like it's insane. Like, just the people that you meet, obviously like yourself, I would never have met you if I was a traveler. Like, got loads of friends that I've met from travel, like understanding different cultures. It's just like, it's crazy. So like, and I know for some people that's not, I get it. It's not always as easy as if you have a job and stuff, it's like not simple, but like, yeah, I just think, you've got to get out. You've got to get out your home country. You've got to go and live and go to different places and experience different places. It helps you grow as a man. Like, it's so important to be out your comfort zone and embrace different things.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I think, it's kind of like naturally leaning in towards like what we obviously do on a day-to-day basis, which is helping people change.
Exactly.
And dude, like it's so funny. Like, every single day when I speak to the team, is like, guys, like, we're actually doing like one of the hardest jobs by nature, because we're forcing something that's not natural for people to do. Everybody wants to change, or everybody wants a different outcome.
Yeah.
But the resistance to change is so hot. And it's the same thing for you. It's the same thing for me right now. It's just for every level, there's another devil.
100%.
There's always something that that holds you back and pushes you, that you should change.
Yeah.
So why do you think, especially with the guys you're speaking to on a day-to-day basis, what do you think is getting in their way? If we're talking fitness, we're talking getting in shape, more confidence.
I think there's a few things. I thought about this, like, what is it that really holds people back? I think the first thing is actually like, the people think that what's required to get in shape is a lot almost harder and a lot more severe than what's actually required. And I think that that's a problem, because people think they have to go to the extremes. They think they have to be doing loads of cardio, eating chicken and broccoli all the time, not eating out with their family. Like, they think that they have to go to the real depths of extremity to be able to get the result, when they actually don't. So, people do this and then they're like, it's not for me. I can't do it. So then they don't get there and they don't understand. But like for us, like for obviously with what we coach, like it's quite a simple process. I think it's a lot easier than what people think. I mean, there's a big misconception of what's actually required for a guy to get in shape. And I think there's a lot of information out there. And I think that's the other problem. The other problem is too much information. Like we live in a world now where like so much AI, obviously, like there's so much information that like people just get overloaded by it. So I actually think it's harder now for people to get in shape than what it was like 5-10 years ago. Yeah, because 5-10 years ago is a lot less information there, right? You ask someone at the gym that it was jacked, you probably get like more sort of straight, narrow advice rather than going on to ChatGPT or going on Instagram and all these different conflicting things and stuff. Like I see it myself. Like I go on Instagram and I see like a coach talk about something that is opposed to my view. You know, like a guy the other day was like debating about taking electrolytes and stuff. And I'm a big fan of taking electrolytes and how the salt and stuff is going to potentially be bad for you. And you know what I mean? And I'm thinking there's an average dude that's gone onto my Instagram and been like, oh, morning, take electrolytes, really good for your hydration. And then they've gone on someone else's Instagram, oh, don't take electrolytes.
Yeah.
What am I meant to do?
Yeah, control.
But it's that like paralysis by analysis. Yeah. And I think it's also the route to getting there is perceived to be so much harder than what it is actually. Because I personally think that every busy guy has got the ability to do what's required to get in shape. Because I personally don't think it's that complicated as you know. Right? Yeah. What about yourself?
Yeah, on that, like, have you ever been out of shape, like as a kid?
So I actually teenager, and that's one thing this is an interesting point because I haven't. I've never experienced what it's like to be out of shape. I've been skinny and I've been a bit scrawny and a bit, but I've always been athletic. I've always been, I've always had a six pack, always ran. I've always like, no one's probably looked at me as the out of shape guy. So that's hard for me to relate to. Yeah. What about yourself?
Yeah, similar thing. I've never, you know what I mean? Always been an athlete, always been
in shape.
In shape, you know? So I think, there's that aspect to it. And I think, like just being more wise today, I think there's like, dude, I understand it. Like I understand also the obstacles these guys are having, travel, late night dinners, like out, like I understand that. And I think what it comes down to is really their when you never had it, it's very hard for them to connect the dots to like, oh yeah, it makes sense. I just need to do this, this, and this again. And then I'm back again. They never had that all the way through.
Yeah.
It's like growing a business. It's like, imagine you and I, we had to play a new instrument. We never had the dot connected fully. So we constantly just like, where we are
100%.
So I think that's a big thing, the association with that, because if you take a business guy, I have lots of friends, even our age as well, so they still struggle with it. And it's constantly just this in and out, in and out, in and out of routines. They have the association that this is who I am. This is how I live my life. This is how we're going out with our friends. This is how we're going out for meals. Like we're working with a lot of clients in Mexico. It's just like, oh, I can't do business if I don't drink. Like, I hear the beliefs. So it's all these things, that contradict them, as you say, in terms of like information overload. And then I think it's just they haven't connected the dots. They don't have the association. They don't know what it feels like. And then it's constantly just like this.
Yeah.
Right?
What was your, like, if you had to, and this is like a narrow question, but like, what would your strategy be? Like, if you obviously work with a lot of business guys, as I know, a lot of entrepreneurs that probably do exactly what you just said. Like, they're eating out a lot. They're obviously very stressed. Like, is there anything you do that's like maybe unique, or like anything you'd recommend to like those type of guys that maybe listen to this that's like would help them like maybe stay more consistent or not fall off the wagon, or like be able to like actually get some momentum behind them?
Yeah, I think it comes down to they have to have more ways of measure success. Like they have to have more ways of actually winning, So inside the program, we will always create like a plan A and plan B for these guys. So plan A is when you're back home, when everything is good and things are easy. And your plan B is what you revert to. No gym, great, we go for a walk that day. That's still success versus I didn't make it to the gym, therefore I'm a failure now. And now I feel discouraged and now I skip 2 days in a row. So I think it really just comes down to, what are they saying? Atomic habits.
Yeah.
It's just eliminating the downfall, like just stringing it together as much as you can, even if it's not perfect,
This is so true, because like, I think, again, like going back to the question of like, what is it that guys struggle with? It is the all or nothing mindset. That is probably the most critical thing that guys struggle with, because they feel like they have to be on it 100%. And it's like, either I can have a perfect week and I can get all my workouts in, I can get my steps and I can count my calories, And if I can't do that, well, I can't do it. And it's like, then they completely fall off. And it's like you just said, like, what is plan B? Like, what can I do that still moves the needle forward?
Yeah.
And as we know, like, you don't need to be perfect to get great results.
Dude, we're not perfect.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just not, you just need to be like 80% consistent for 12 weeks rather than like 100% on it for a couple of weeks, fall off the wagon. And then it's like another week goes past. And this is what most guys do. Yeah. It's like, I think I saw something, I don't even know how this like would have been conducted, but it was, I think most guys on average will do like 6 weeks of like following something. I think that's even quite long, to be honest. Yeah, but apparently around 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And then they fall off. And then it's like this cycle just repeats. And it's like 6 weeks is just freaking like not long at all, is it? Like, you're not going to get enough in that, but like it's coming away from that mindset. Because that's one thing we give our guys as well. It's like, what is the minimum dose that you can still do this week to still move the needle forward? And even if it's just maintaining, right? Like, maintaining is still fine on a fat loss phase or any type of phase.
Yeah, I think that's literally the key, is like, how can you still stay in the game?
Yeah.
Like, you're sick, like, just go on the court, like, just be there, and then just like jog a little bit up and down, like, with that mindset.
Yeah.
What can I do on like the days where it's not working?
Yeah. 100%. Because obviously you have a lot of guys that travel as well. Like, is there any like big tips that you give them for guys that travel, like when it comes to eating out and food and stuff? Like, is there any kind of like different like methods and stuff that you generally would try?
Yeah, it's, it's the same thing as I personally do as well when you travel. It's like, when you travel and when you eat out a lot, like, you will naturally get more, right? More oil, more sodium. Like, you're not quite sure what you're getting in your meals oftentimes. So we do the carbs in, carbs out kind of thing. So if they know they're going out for lunch with clients and dinners and stuff with clients, we just sort of like taper off in your meals early on today, instead of having the 2 toast with your eggs in the breakfast buffet at the hotel.
Yeah.
Just do the eggs right now and do the black coffee, because you know you have a lunch with your client later. So just kind of like educate them around that, taper off, and then steak and veggies, as always, get on grilled fish. Like, just don't do the sides, don't do all that thing. Just get yourself a load of protein and greens on side, because we will always spill over when we're traveling. You know what I mean?
100%. And what do you do in like alcohol wise? You say obviously a lot of these guys that want to drink and stuff, like, do you help them understand like what to have this like less damage basically, or like?
Yeah, obviously the low calorie drinks, but I think again it's like, I think it just comes down to, again, the plan A and plan B. It's like the all or nothing. It's like, have one. If you have one, have one.
Yeah,
it doesn't really matter. Like, have a beer, whatever. Like, just have that one, and that's the win.
Yeah.
Don't have the second and the third and the fourth.
100%. I think that's the problem, isn't it? Sometimes people struggle to limit these things. I think like I think that's like, I can do that. Like, I can, like the other night, I think when we went out, like, one cocktail, I don't need to like continually keep drinking. I'll quite happily go out, 1 or 2 drinks. Yeah, I'm done. I mean, I can.
And so question on that, because why? Because I'm the same right now. I would like your point. Why are you able to just limit yourself to one?
That's it. I don't actually know what that would be. I think normal habits, like, and I think as well. So what I would probably say is it's more because of the effect of how it's going to make me feel the next day. That plays on my mind a lot. Like, I like feeling good. I like to run. I like to exercise. I also like to feel great for my business. Like, I think it's the feeling of, right, if I'm going to have, it's not the fact that it could damage my body. Like, I know that I could drink 10 cocktails and probably wake up leaner the next day. Like, honestly, that's how, like, the sugar.
Yeah.
All right, there's calories in it, but like, we've built a body now that isn't going to necessarily be damaged by that. For me, what stops me from drinking too much is just the way it makes me feel. It's just the brain fog. It's the recovery aspects. Like, everything starts to go downhill. So for me, I'm happy to have 1 or 2 where I stay within control. I get home, go to sleep, and I'm fine. I wake up the next day. That's my probably, and I think that's where I've seen now, like you, like, I'm a lot more, I suppose, business focused, or I like to feel good and like to feel in control. Like, a few years ago, I didn't care, right? But like, now for me, it's important. I feel good. I've got a lot of energy for my team, for clients. So that's what stops me getting hammered. Yeah, to put it bluntly. Every now and then, sure, like, obviously it might happen, but I feel like that's my kind of blocker now, in terms of like, I don't want to feel crap the next day.
So totally. It's like, and it's so simple. It's like, what we probably do subconsciously is what we're trying to teach these guys. It really just comes down to like the pain and the pleasure.
Yeah.
And the accountability. Like, you're accountable not just to yourself. You know the damage and the pain of you doing that, what that's going to cost you tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'll run your business as you want. You're going to show up on a team call and that sort of thing. It's like pain. It's like whipped.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Don't you have that thought sometimes where you're out with it? Like, we have dinner now, everybody.
Yeah.
And then there's 2 that like, hey, let's go out. Let's do more drinks. And the thought you have right there in that moment is like, I don't want to ruin my next day tomorrow because I'm going to shoot content. I'm going to do an ad. I'm going to do an da-di-da-di-da. Punishment.
It's so true. Yeah. It's almost like you don't want to ruin. I mean, I love my mornings. This is one of the things that I struggle with a little when I came here, because like, I don't want to be sleeping in the mornings and stuff, which is kind of what the way the UK time zone and stuff worked for me. Like, I kind of felt like I had to, whereas I like getting up, I like being productive. And yeah, like with alcohol, as soon as you start drinking and you stay out late, you're not going to be getting up before sunrise, are you? You're not going to be getting up at 6, 7 a.m. And then it's like, I feel very defeated if I don't get up early. I feel like it starts my day off on like a bad foot. So I don't like that feeling. I think that's like one thing that I actually think can sometimes help someone, like from that perspective. Like if you book something or you want to do something the next day, obviously you're going on a night out. All the other classic is like, I tell my clients to drive sometimes. Yeah. I've had this before. I'm like, they're like, what can I do? I'm, I don't like the peer pressure and stuff of being in a social environment. I'm like, well, who's driving that night? Oh, I'm not really sure. It's like, why don't you just drive, volunteer? Like, it completely takes away like any pressure from any being, oh, you're not drinking this time. Well, do you want to die? Like,
exactly.
That's it's stuff like that, because I think that's interesting like point to go down. But like the peer pressure of other people, do you feel like that's a problem sometimes? Like, obviously, like the environment that someone is, like who they're with them is their family, a business meal, like you said, a lot of these guys feel like they have to drink. It's a problem, isn't it? I like the social aspect of who they're with.
I've just personally, I've never really felt it. Like, I can't relate to that, because it's like, I actually don't give a fuck in that situation, to be honest. Like,
because you feel like you've been around the right people as well, to a certain extent. All inside.
But I get it, like, having a drug addiction, you know what I mean? Like, how does that happen? Well, it purely happens because of people and associations and people you're around. So of course there's like natural peer, what can you say, cultivation. So I think again, it just goes back to what we talked about. It's like, you have a guy that's 35 or 40 years old. He's been doing this on and off his whole life. All his friends go out and drink. It's social. It's how he generates business. Dude, his identity, it's like, that's it. This is who I am. And I think, again, if you take like Atomic Habits, like you have the onion, you have the outcome, and the goal is kind of like the top. Right. Then the routines and the habits is the second thing. Everybody can kind of like put a routine in place. But rarely people hit the center, which is the identity change. I now see myself as this individual.
That's it is.
And that's where they get stuck.
I think it is like, it is an identity shift, isn't it? Realistically, like if you think about, a lot of the guys that we've had that have dropped a considerable amount of weight,
they see themselves differently now.
Exactly.
They're like,
that's the thing. Because I think like, what we said, we've never experienced maybe being out of shape, but like a lot of people see themselves as the fat guy, don't they? Like that's how they've always been. They've always been the guy that's overweight. And if they don't change their identity, they're going to go back to that. Like it's key, right? They have to see themselves as the leaner guy. What would the guy that's like 10 kilos lighter, do on a night out if he was going out with his friends? What would he drink and stuff? I think that's the questions that you have to ask yourself.
And it's so like you can, when people listen to what we're saying right now, it's like, it makes sense. I can kind of like grasp onto it, but it's so like, it's such a hard thing. It's conditioning, hardwired ways of thinking.
How do you like, what would be your method of trying to like change someone's identity? Like, is there ways that you do it inside your program, or is it just done over time from consistent habit change?
Again, like the easiest thing to do, like the fastest way to change any behavior is to change your environment. Like as you did, you went to Dubai. You're very different today versus what you thought back then. It's changing environment. I had a good friend of mine. He was, again, really nice guy, entrepreneurial, had troubles with drugs as well. And he tried to stop, and he tried to stop at home. And he went on a trip, literally forced himself out of Denmark to travel around the world. He went to Australia, he went to the US with his girlfriend, 9 months just away, no drugs. He went back home again. And within 2 weeks, dude, boom, he was in it. And then he just cut the tie. He was like, fuck, I'm too scared. I can't control this. And he permanently moved to Australia, and he lived down there and started his own business.
Wow. And what came away from?
Dude, it's just like, I think the when you're fed up enough, I think again, it's like the pain and the pleasure thing. When you're fed up enough by being this guy, looking this way, feeling this way, doing damaging things, you hate yourself because you do all that. When you're fed up enough, you're hitting something at some point, right?
But that's the thing. So at what point is enough? Because this is the thing. Like, I'm sure you've had, guys on your program, they join, and they still can't commit to themselves. They still won't do it. They give up. But it's like, at what point is it that they're like, I have to do this. I have to make this change. Like, I have to go for this, because it's hard to sometimes, like, we had a guy recently dropped like 40 kilos. Like, it absolutely changed his life around. For him, he was probably at rock bottom, where he's like, I have to do this. I have to make a change. Some guys, it's almost like the pain isn't enough, even though they want to change and it's enough for them to make a decision to join the program. Their level of commitment is still not there. It's still not where it needs to be to make change. And I think it's like, what is it going to, what's it going to be? Have you got to have a heart attack? Have you got there's something really bad got to happen? Have you got to be like, I don't know, is your wife got to stop having sex? If you like, what is it that's going to cause you enough pain to want to make a change? And I think that's sometimes like a tough thing to find for some guys.
Did you watch the documentary with the Biggest Loser on Netflix?
I've heard of it. I didn't watch it.
Right.
I know it's like,
But dude, like
these
guys, like, so there's two sides to that. What I took from it, it's like every single person that, like, they're severe obese. They're not just like our guys, like 10 kilos. Like they're shit.
They're massive. Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
All of them lost the weight. Like, all of them, like, got to a fairly, like, decent kind of, like, weight range within that program. I can't remember how long they actually did it for. Now, did they do it in a healthy way? No. But they were like, do or die. So what I took from that was, okay, there's public accountability. There's a group of people, public accountability. 2, they're on TV. So not just the group of people, but the whole world is going to see them fail or succeed.
Yeah.
And then 3, obviously $1 million.
Yeah. Oh, is that the price?
Yeah, I think $1 million, $500K, you know?
Yeah.
So there's a blend of what? Pain and pleasure, reward for hitting it, and I'm gonna look like an absolute loser if I quit.
Yeah.
And I think if we can fabricate that within a coaching program, that is a challenge. You do it together with someone. Everybody pay $1,000. Winner takes it all. Everybody loses. Like, there's small gadgets you can do to kickstart that.
Yeah.
Now, the second half to that was majority of the people would gain the weight back again in the Biggest Loser.
Well, that's common, right?
It was like 60 or 70%.
Yeah. Well, like 90% is the statistic of weight loss weight gain within 1 to 5 years, which is crazy.
Yeah. And it's huge. But then it goes back to outcome, goal, habits, routines. Those guys, they all figure that part out.
Yeah.
But they're still the fat kid.
It's identity.
Yeah. Boom. And you will always revert back to who you think.
These guys haven't, like you said, there's enough pushing them to want to make the changes, but they probably, from my understanding, it's probably been very quick, like a quick amount of weight loss, almost like a bit of a quick fix.
Yeah, I think it was 6. Like, it's not long.
It's sort of stupid. Yeah, like as you know, like with weight loss, if you lose it quick, you likely going to gain it back.
Yeah,
because of probably a lack of identity, like crash dieting. That's the issue. Yeah, these guys haven't. They still associate themselves as the fat dude. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
And I think that's the problem. It's a difficult shift to make. I think for anyone like that, like, you know, for anyone that's never ever seen themselves in shape and has always, maybe they grew up getting bullied, like maybe they just always have had low confidence, they struggle to speak to, you know, females.
Yeah.
It's hard to make that change.
Yeah.
Even if they're in shape, and to the outside eye, they're like, gee, that guy's jacked, but they still don't see themselves in that way.
Yeah.
And it takes time to really, really start to like actually look at yourself from a different light. And this is what actually, like, interestingly, like, one of the big things that we do, and we spoke about this the other day, but like, we do a lot of photo shoots. Like, that's one of our biggest things now. Like, we have a lot of guys, some girls that step up and they do photo shoots, and like, it's not about the vanity. And I think a lot of that's kind of, people have come away from looking at photo shoots like that now. But like, what I want is, I want my guys like that do the shoots, I want them to look at the photo of them looking fucking insane, like looking jacked, looking shredded, seeing themselves in a light that they have never seen themselves in before. Because when they see that, that's probably one of the biggest things that will change their identity. Yeah, because for the first time in their life, they're in a gym, they've got their top on, they're looking like insane, like the guys off Men's Health, and they're like, shit, like that's actually me. And I think that's a big thing for them in terms of like understanding, okay, no, I have actually done this now.
Yeah,
like this is my reality.
Yeah. Yeah, they need to see something physical. It's like if you go from $0 in the bank to 1 million.
Yeah,
it's tangible. You saw 1, 2.
Yeah,
like when you competed, you competed as well, right?
Yeah.
That was for me probably the biggest shift, like mentally, that happened for me. Is like, I can do anything.
100%. Yeah.
Like, I would never quit. Fucking everybody quit on that program. I just don't quit.
Exactly.
And that's just a belief you change. It's like you develop from going through A to B, and you see the outcome from it.
Yeah.
physically.
100%.
I think it's a huge thing. Physically,
I
you
think
see
so.
it.
Yeah, I think that like as much as I would never compete again, and it's just not for me, and you know I don't really feel like it's I just didn't like it. But like I'm glad I did it because I think that it does enable you to be a lot more disciplined. And when I competed, like probably like you, like I was young as well, so like you know, I wasn't as mature maybe as I am now, and like I'm proud of myself like for the dedication I gave for like 12, 16 weeks and how hard I pushed my body. And I think that does correlate into a lot of other areas of your life as well. You start to be more disciplined, right? It's like almost like stacking up the proof that you don't cheat on your diet. You do your steps. Even if you feel like shit, you still go out and do your steps. I think that like that level of discipline is what's actually probably thinking back now, I think helped me a lot.
Shift your identity. Like you go a level up in your mind. Because you and I, we still eat chocolate cake and we still enjoy ourselves, like, but we don't like, we're not bad, like we're not failing on ourselves because we are keeping a certain baseline and a habit. I think that's the one people, it's a hard one for people to grasp onto. So I think you're absolutely right with the photo shoot and stuff. It's if people can just see it through. So it goes back to the Biggest Loser thing. If 60 or 70% of them all lose, like they all gain the weight back again. Now the first part of the program worked. Everybody got tremendous results. But then they need to do exactly what we're doing for our clients. They need to have the conditioning, the longevity of it afterwards. And I think any person that maybe struggles with consistency and like not fully committing and stuff, the easiest and the best thing they can do is find someone they trust and someone they like. It can be a coach like you and I. I always say it's all about who you work with and what you do. Because the what is easy. The what will change based on your path. But the who will always be with you. And that's the one that kind of like speaks that voice into you to like overcome these things. And then I would just say, commit yourself for 2 years, 1 year, pay up front, like just pay, make it sting. And just be okay that you're going to fail 49% of the time.
100%.
But it's the last 2% of continuing that's going to get you out on the other side with the longevity. I think so.
I agree, I think that, because I think it's like you said, the losing the weight part, not that it's easy, because it's not, but a lot of people have success with that, whether it's in the right or wrong way. Like, you know, people lose weight from taking injections now. Like, that's one of the biggest things at the moment in this current age. Taking shakes, whatever. Like, people can lose the weight, but it is the keeping it up. That is where everybody goes wrong, and they can't seem to keep the weight off, and then there's, you know, the issues of gaining it back again afterwards. So that's why probably like yourself, like your program, like we focus so much now on what happens after someone has got in shape. And it's like with the shoots and stuff, like I always, you know, when our guys get in shape and they do their shoots, I always tell them, I'm like, look, like what you've achieved is amazing. You should be really proud of yourself, but please like give this another like 8 weeks minimum for us to help you now. Because like what you're about to go through now is going to be the most hardest part of your journey. Like you need to know how to, you know, maintain, come out of, you know, the reward of doing a shoe and having that real like buzz of working towards a goal. You need to understand how to be able to actually like reverse diet, build your physique, build your body metabolism, all that kind of stuff. So like minimum 8 weeks afterwards. And you know, we always push for around about 6 months, like for our programs, sometimes more, but it's that stage after that I think is the most critical. Because I've messed up on that. I don't know about you, but when I competed, I mean, I never got out of shape. Like to the average person, they wouldn't look at me and think that dude's fat. Like I probably still had abs, but incredibly bloated. You know, skin was broken out. Like just
look at here.
It
happened right up various times.
I felt like crap, and I gained like within my period post diet, post comp, like I think it was about 7 kilos in a couple of weeks. Like it's about a stone or something like that. And I think I was at my heaviest weight I've ever been. So that was 96 kilos. I was getting on the scales at maybe even 97. And yeah, I just felt like shit. I was bloated. I didn't like how I looked. So like I know, and that was the first time I experienced a rebound, a crash diet, or completely screwed up. So I know now from my first time experience how it feels to mess up and why it's so critical to go through a successful reverse diet, maintenance phase, whatever you want to call it, to get someone out of like the trenches of dieting, which is where most people need the most support, in my opinion.
100%. And it's like, it goes back to the identity thing. Like I constantly think about a good buddy of mine from back home, same age as us. And he's always been dabbling in it, always. He's not like fat or anything, but he's like, he could lose 10 kilos. 8, 10 kilos. And every time I'm back home and I'm speaking with him, like, I don't know, I hope he mind me sharing, but it's like he always just explains to me how much it bothers him and how much he hates when he look himself in the mirror and stuff. And then he does it, and then he doesn't do it anymore. He never gets down here. And it's just like, it's such a fascinating concept, I think, for most people, and it's ourselves included in certain areas of our life. It's like, why do we want something so bad, and then why do we lose it so quick again? Why are we not able to push through?
What do you think, like, the biggest reason is that, I mean, apart from maybe that, like we said, the identity shift, why do you think people struggle to be able to
Do something, yeah.
Yeah, like, just sustain it? Like, what do you think it is that's, like, causing people to...
Well, I'm trying to think for myself. I think, like, I remember when I always wanted to read, and I could never get into it because I'm not a reader from school, right? Like, finished half a book and that was it.
Yeah.
And I think it's parts of that, it's like,
I'm like that. Yeah.
I'm still, I'm not the best, but like, I've consumed a lot of books now.
Yeah,
And I kind of like,
I've like forced myself to do that. I've never naturally enjoyed reading a book, but I'm like,
now it's kind of like, yeah,
I kind of do. And it's like one of them things that's like...
it's like coffee, as a child, where you're like, fuck, that is like bad, but you're supposed to drink.
Coffee now I love. Yeah. Yeah, it's like that when I was younger.
Yeah.
But like, I would never say I look forward to reading that. I don't think, I can't wait to read. But when I'm reading, I enjoy it. Yeah, this is actually really relaxing. I'm enjoying this. Yeah, it's cool. But I'm not looking forward to it. It's kind of probably similar to to the gym to a certain extent, or exercise. Like most guys, there's a barrier of entry there, right? Like, I really don't want to work out today. I can't be bothered. Like, it's just not what I want to do. But then when they do it, you feel amazing. You feel great. And then you get, obviously, for the rest of the day afterwards, you feel even better.
Yeah.
So it's almost just, it's breaking that.
It's a reward ratio. I don't know if it's that, like, people are not being rewarded enough for that positive behavior, or it's just not, it's not aligned with what am I going to gain from it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What am I going to gain from this reading book? Yeah, it sounds good. Bill Gates reads 52 books, but is it really going to matter? Right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And for these guys as well, like, is it really going to matter for me to get in shape?
True.
I got 2 kids. I got the wife at home. She's sneaky snacking as well. Does it really matter? So, right?
So we've always spoken about like the guys that are, in pain, or what point is it that pain causes someone to take action? I'm sure, like, definitely the type of guys that you work with, but what about the guys that genuinely aren't in pain? So like, what about guys that actually are in okay shape, that are successful, that maybe make a lot of money, but they realize they're still missing out on something, and they actually know that they're not quite achieving? Because I think that's two types of people.
Yeah.
Those guys, like, they obviously feel like they're not quite achieving what they want. Like, I'm guessing you work with a lot of those type of, like, the high achievers, the high performers. Do you feel like those type of guys, what's driving them, do you reckon, to really make a change? Like, if you had to say.
It's the more, like, you and I, we both in that category of people. Like, we're not running away from anything as of so. Like, yeah, maybe it hurts, you're stressed, and then you're trying to change things. But generally speaking, we're all moving towards something, not moving away from things.
This is it, yeah.
Right? It's the driver for more. It's the driver for what could this be? It's the me hiring a coach and paying $5,000 to, like, have 2 sessions with my team, because, like, what would that do to their performance? Like, how could that make them feel? You know what I mean? It's like,
if they just get like 1 or 2% better, that for someone at that level, could make a massive difference.
Yeah.
And I think, as we know, like, with fitness and in general, like, being in better shape, it does allow you to operate at a much higher level. Like, I know that, like, if I'm not exercising, if I'm not eating well, I don't feel as good. Like, I'm not in pain. I'm not like, if I don't eat well, or if I don't exercise for a bit, not that I haven't really done that for a while, but it's not like I'd feel like I'm in pain like a guy that's overweight, but I know that I'm not as productive as I could be.
Yeah.
So that whole, like, high performance mindset, like, I think that, like, you should want it all, right? Like, you should have
for sure
good health, obviously, be making good money, or definitely, like, be trying to do that within your career, within your business, have good relationships, or, have a good circle, or have a good dating life, whatever. Like, I think, like, we should strive for everything. And I guess that's what some of these guys want. I think people, they identify their health is probably the one thing that they don't have. Because I've had a lot of guys that are there before. They've openly told me like, I'm doing pretty well. I feel like my only thing I haven't got at the moment
It's the health.
is their health.
Well, that's a huge one, yeah, for these guys there.
Yeah.
Huge one. But I think for the guys that kind of have it, as we talked about, like they're in decent shape, they train 5 times a week. I think deep down is really just it's either the curiosity,
Yeah.
or I think it's the ego as well.
Yeah.
It's the ego and the curiosity in a healthy or unhealthy manner, whatever you want to say. But it's like it's these two things you're feeding.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same thing, I don't know with you, but like it's the same thing for me sometimes. Sometimes it's very curiosity driven. And then I can also take myself in like it's ego driven, right? Example could be like investing into things.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
for me, it's almost like it's a this is who I am because this is what I want other people to do. I pay in full. I will pay more for stuff. Like I would be holding myself to higher standard, even though I'm like, dude, you don't need this right now. Like, don't do it. But it's almost like my ego fucking speaks to me in a situation, say, do it, pay, do it. So I think maybe guys can think like that as well. You know what I mean? It's like the prestige in investing in a trainer, in a personal coach, in a handbag, in a car. It's prestige. It's status.
100%.
Right.
I think that like it's like you said as well, like it's having the accountability. I think that's an interesting thing, like with the whole like paying in full and like not, because I know that obviously like that's what we always recommend to people, but I think that like when you invest into something, like even if it's like us, if we're investing in a coach or a business program and you actually, you know, pay for the full thing, like that does give you so much more drive and so much more of an incentive to actually stick to it and get the result.
And these guys know that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think this is the biggest problem, that a lot of people don't, they don't have the level of kind of intent to actually make a change sometimes because maybe they're not paying enough. And like, that's why I think that like, again, with what we do, like I don't think that we'll get replaced in this world of AI. Like I don't think that like what we do is ever going to kind of get to the point as to where people don't need it, because people obviously like they look into us, they want to work with us, they like what we do and stuff like that. But again, like it is that accountability, isn't it? Like it's the investment of making an investment like into a program that gives them skin in the game and actually gives them the intent to operate at the level that they need to get results, because that's what most people need. I don't think it's a lack of information that's what holds a lot of people back.
No.
It's the implementation of it, of like, and like we obviously touched on at the start, like how do we like dissect the information these guys need and help them around their lifestyle, like make it relevant to what they actually need to do to move the needle forward. But yeah, I think that like people need to put their money where their mouth is and invest.
Oh my God, dude.
Because we've invested loads in ourselves, right? But like, I feel like anytime I've done that, we've seen a massive return on it.
Yeah.
No matter what that is.
Yeah, and it's like it goes back to what we talk about in terms of these like habit stacking or behavior stacking. It's like it's almost like if I don't do certain things sometimes, I'm going so much against past actions and past behaviors. Does that make sense? So it's like if I quit on my diet, I quit on my diet, I quit on my diet. It doesn't matter if I quit on a diet now, but because I don't quit, I always go all out, I always invest, I always try to be better, then it now helps me in future decisions. Right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is like, back to what I said, invest into a program or a coach, do it for a year, 2 years, and know that you're going to fail half of the time, will give you the transformation in itself. Because you do something that you haven't done before. Like when I was 22, when I invested into my first coach, I met him at the gym. He was a business coach, personal development guy. I've just moved to Australia. I made fucking like $700 a week. And the manager in the gym have told me there's this like business guy, personal development speaker, this big, tall, black dude, you know, like had a cool aura around him. I see him, I do cardio, I see him. And then ended up, you know, speaking with him for like 45 minutes in the gym that day. And I was like so intrigued, again, back to like, what could this be? What can I learn from him?
Yeah.
Oh my God, what is this about? And we spoke about nothing but life and thinking and mindset. And dude, I was just so intrigued, curious, asked him like, hey, like, can we do something? Like, I would like to do some coaching and stuff together. And And we sort of like just left it there. And then he sent me an email when I got back with what he do and what his offer is. And it's 5K, 4 phone calls. That was it. And dude, I was like,
is this business coaching or fit?
mindset coaching. Where I was like, he's working in the business space with sales professional, real estate and stuff, but it's mindset. It's performance really. But I was 22 and a half, and I made $700 a week, dude. Like, I went into my bank account and I had 4,700. And I would make another, you know what I mean, 750 again following Friday. I took the whole thing out.
And you paid the full.
Yeah. And I always, everything came from that investment. Obviously, he was great. Like, it was probably one of the best coaching experiences, one-to-one I've had in my entire life. So that was good. You know, the first investment I did was really good. But the biggest transformation was that I did it. You know what I mean? Like, I leveled up in my own insecurities and my own identity. And everything from there changed.
That's interesting. What was like the biggest, I mean, you even remember now, but what were the biggest like takeaways that you got from that then? Like anything that stands out for you now that you still like operate with?
Yeah, it was the investment, and then it was like how he made me think and feel about myself. Like the whole experience was just elevation of standards, elevation of operating, thinking, communicating. He told me a big thing about like how people communicate with you is how they're going to be to work with as well. If they take a long time to get back to you, if they don't reply, you know, he would test like, so part of the coaching was every single day, he would send me a video like, hey, Simon, watch this 7-minute video with Ray Dalio tonight about 7 habits of la, 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 la. Send me your best takeaways from it by 10 p.m. So he would do that every day. I still have everything written down in notes.
Yeah.
And he said, you can see everything about a guy, about how he sends notes to you, and also the punctuality in how he's communicating with you. Is he on time? Does he do it? Is he curious? Is he interested? So yeah, I think that was the main things. It was just how to think, how to keep yourself to a higher standard. Like I felt different. And I started very soon thereafter to do personal training, and I felt very different. Right?
Yeah, that's interesting. I think that like, yeah, the whole psychology, like human, I find human psychology really interesting. Actually, a lot more probably in the last like 6 to 12 months and stuff. It's like you said with about like, you know, how long people take to respond and like just all sorts of stuff. Like, you know, I've noticed out here, which is really interesting. Like every time I go to Body Factory, they always like address me by my name. Right? Yeah. Every single time they call me Chris and stuff. And like, it's just stuff like that, which is like, that makes me feel good. Like I feel special, like Italian. I think that it's basic human things like that, which are really interesting actually, when it comes to like how we address people, like how we build respect from people as well, like all that kind of stuff. I think that like, I think a lot of people struggle with that. I think a lot of people's mindsets, and communication isn't necessarily where it needs to be, especially in the UK. People's mindsets are always quite damaged there. Not to go.
Dude, I think it's around the world.
Do you think?
I think so.
Yeah,
100%.
What in like what do you think? Like in what way? I think that back to the UK, I should probably like try and explain myself a bit on that. I feel like people are very closed-minded in the UK. I feel like people are very reluctant to wanting to invest in themselves, or they feel bad about investing in themselves. They almost don't feel like they should make an investment into, you know, a coaching program and stuff, and they worry too much. They worry about the risk, and they, instead of, I think in the US, I've witnessed there's a bit more of an abundance mindset. They're very much open towards investing into something if they feel like it's going to better them. They're very much invest, like, again, like they're very much into like, I think investing in food as well. They're very much, no, I want to do this in one. Whereas I was just thinking there's just a slight difference with sometimes, I think maybe in Europe in general, with how people maybe operate around money, but definitely in investing in themselves. Whereas like, I mean, just, you know, when it comes to, if I was failing with something for such a long time, like if I couldn't lose weight, I've been doing it for such a long time, it's affecting my confidence in my life generally wasn't good, I would be up till, you know, I'd be every night trying to find someone to help me. I'd be so open to investing. I would invest a lot more than what I charge for coaching. Like 10x probably. If someone said to me like, I'll get you, if I was an overweight guy and someone said to me like, I'll get you a 6-pack in 6 months. I don't know what I'd pay for that, but I would invest a lot into that because I would want that so bad because I know what it feels like to be in good shape, and I wouldn't want to feel like what it's like to not be in good shape. So the mindset's really interesting. People's mindsets, I think, holds them back a lot. So it's interesting, like that's what you learn a lot from working with, because I think that that's huge. Like your mindset is the number one most important thing.
Yeah, it's everything, and it's, you know, on that, like I think, yeah, the US it's a big country, you know what I mean? It's like whatever, like 350 million, you know, but
Yeah.
dude, you go to a lot of places in the US, they're even more backwards than us.
Yeah.
So Australia, like I spoke to a guy yesterday, he's from New Zealand. So I was like, oh, how's New Zealand compared to Aussie in terms of investing in himself and stuff? He's like, yeah, New Zealand is very conservative towards Australia. Australia is more outgoing when doing it.
Yeah.
Than me living in Australia. I know Australia compared to the US, Australia is a lot more conservative. You go to Europe, like everybody there is their own little habitat and they haven't seen outside. They're all reluctant. They're all doubting. They all have limited thinking.
I think that's what it is, like limited belief almost. Like that's why I feel like it's the fear of failure, isn't it? I think that's what holds a lot of people back. It's almost like, because again, like think about the world that we live in now where like everyone is taking injections that guarantee that they're going to lose weight. It's almost like the Hormozy equation, right? Of like what's the risk of, you know, making an investment towards getting there, what's guaranteed and stuff. Whereas like if people know they can lose weight from injecting Mounjaro or whatever these injections are, people will do it. Whereas like it's almost the fear of, is this program going to work for me? Is this program actually going to work for me? And I think that's what holds people back. People pay thousands for weight loss surgery. Thousands. Like
Guaranteed,
it's guaranteed. Yeah.
And then you gain it back again.
And then you gain it back. Yeah. But and I think it comes down to effort as well. I think people don't want to put the effort in to go and achieve the result. And again, it comes back to what we spoke about, the pain. Like, is the pain worth it to put the effort in for 12 weeks, 16 weeks to get the result? And for some people, it's not. It's like, fine, like be okay with being out of shape, being fat. Not to fat shame, but that's the reality, right? If you're not prepared to make the change, accept the consequences.
Yeah. Well, you take the guy that smoked cigarettes, right?
Yeah.
And then he, like my uncle, died from that. So he had what's it called? Cold, like lymphomania.
Yeah.
And still smokes.
Yeah.
My dad is 67, 25 kilo too much, slipped disc in his back, banged his knee, and he's got type 1 diabetes. What do you think I'm doing to him every single time I speak to him?
Is he still smokes?
No, so my dad doesn't.
Oh, he doesn't.
Yeah, right. So that's my uncle.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, my dad is the diabetes, overweight, never exercise, and
you're trying to like lose weight, eat better, sleep better, like all that kind of stuff.
All that, you know. So finally, and I can explain that in a second. But like the whole point with that is like he's never had a grasp of what does it feel like, what does it look like. He has zero connections. Like he looks at the wall and thinks it's green.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like the pain of change is still greater than the pain of staying the same. And that's it, bottom line. I remember it was Ty Lopez, he was talking about an interview where he was talking about a psychologist that spoke to his student, where the student asked the psychologist, he was like, am I like wasting my time trying to help people change? Where the psychologist says, you are big time, unless your students, your clients are experiencing severe pain or trauma, like near-death experience. And it's so sad, but it's just like, it goes back to what you say. It's like, that's human nature.
It is. Yeah. I feel like that it's human nature frustrating sometimes. I speaking to Matt about this the other day, obviously my brother, like over a coaching call, and like we were just talking about, you know, he takes it very seriously. Like I think he obviously really wants to feel like he's doing his best. He's really helping people. And you know, he was getting frustrated. I think he was saying there's just certain essentially clients that he was struggling with that to get them to really take it seriously. And I think he was someone who's taking it a bit personally on himself. And like, I was like, mate, like this is the reality. I was like, you can't force people to want to make these changes. Like you can get on a call with them, you can lay out a plan, you can find out exactly what it is that they're struggling with right now. And you can make it so easy. Like simple. You can make it to the point as to where like you literally laying it out ideally for them, but you still can't make them do it.
Yeah.
I think if they are not in enough pain to stick to it and they're not ready to make a change, no coach in the world is going to be able to help them. And I find that hard.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. It's like you go in circles, like you're still doing, you speak with a lot of people on a day-to-day basis, and I do as well. So it's like, yeah, yeah, it's like what Moses said, you can either be right or you can be rich.
Yeah.
But oftentimes you gotta have both,
That's interesting. Yeah.
right? Like you can either try to be like, hey, you should do this and it would be really good for you and stuff, and it would like, let's do this together over here. And that's why, like, when you see a change, a success rate of change, and when you see even just an intake of every single person that says, hey, I'm interested in your program,
Yeah.
how many of them are actually are becoming clients?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Tiny
Tiny percentage. Yeah.
And that's all the limiting belief that just like
Yeah.
stops at some point in their thinking process.
Yeah. They kind of feel like they want it, but they don't. And it's like when push comes to shove, like it's like, nah, and they're not ready.
So it's like we can only do what we can do, as you say, like make it simple, make it easy. But yeah, in an ideal world, you would take all your clients right now, move them to Bali, do a camp, see them every morning, have beautiful ladies around them and stuff, and then just like get them away from back home.
Yeah.
And dude, they would all get in
further dish, like life changing. That would be how critical that would be to their journey. Like I see, that's the one thing I'd love to do a lot more of. I'm sure like your clients are all over the world. Like, I'd love to do more like in-person events and stuff. Cause I think I reckon I could really get a lot from those.
Yeah.
And really get into like people's mindsets a lot better. And cause then, I've taken loads from times when I've gone and done that. We've been to like in-person events ourselves, but yeah, I think that would be like one thing that would really help. And just to meet like-minded people and have a little bit more kind of like actual like face-to-face inspiration, stuff like that. Yes, it's interesting. But I mean, it's never really gonna.
Yeah, it's a hard one long term to do, but it's like, yeah, like that's what we do as entrepreneurs. We paid to solve problems.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
like, how can AI is there right now. The world is small. Like there's so many different ways to be creative in terms of like, how can you create a good experience?
Yeah, 100%.
But back to what you said before with the Body Factory, the smiling, the shaking hands, it's like, that's just forgotten.
It is.
And dude, like you and I, we've been in enough coaching programs now. We've been in enough interactions with successful people, medium, and all the way down there. It's like human connection, human interaction, generally care.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's such a dude, like that's everything.
It is.
Bro, that's the product.
It is.
That's it.
Your like life is so much more like fulfilling, and you're more content and like and more enjoyable. Yeah, 100%. Like it's like from since I've been here compared to when I was in Thailand. Thailand's a lovely place, but I didn't really get much human connection. I didn't really, I didn't go to the gyms like here where you're kind of chatting and you're meeting people. And I was almost living in a lot of solitude when I was in Thailand for quite a long time. And it made me like feel down at times and stuff. And like, obviously, like I say, like coming to Bali, being around lots of people and having that human connection every day, I feel so much better. Like, my entire mood is better. Like everything's better. Whereas like having come from like two different, not different places in terms of like, the culture of it, I think they're very similar, Bali and Thailand, but from those specific situations, environments that I was in, I literally like experienced what it was like to be very much on my own, not really have huge amounts of friends around me or that many people I have much in common with, to like now where, you go to Body Factory, speak to 3 or 4 people every day. Like there's loads of people you can meet there and it's completely different. And it's made me feel so much better. So I think that human connection is really towards everything.
And it's like, yeah, especially as entrepreneurs, I don't know with you, like how you're dealing with maybe, being alone and going through challenging times. But when I look at my parents, for example, like I look at my grandparents, dude, they're like old school, they smoked their whole life. They've been, drinking at least 1 beer every night for dinner and stuff, like proper old school lifestyle. But they're the happiest and they're still around. And my granddad is like 90 now. And I know the secret why they're around and why they're so good. And it's the social currency. They've always had people over. They've always been open doors and have interaction and stuff. Like, the whole saying when, you have 2 older couple and one of them die, and then the other one, he dies like right away after. And that's the power of interacting with people and having social, like, I don't know about you. How do you like deal with stress, challenges, loneliness, like doing what you do?
I think a lot of that is my fitness routine, to be honest with you. Like, I think that, like, whenever I get stressed, like, first thing I'll do is either go for a run or go to the gym or go for a walk. Like, 100% exercise. I feel like it changes my frequency. Like, I don't just sit there and, like, almost, like, you know, kind of try and work things out or mope. I feel like I need to get out and move and do something like that. I also kind of embrace it. I feel like you're gonna go through pain and stress. I just feel like as a guy, that's just part of your life. And I feel like that's just something that I've kind of learned to deal with now. And I'm like, there's always a lesson there as well.
Yeah.
And I just think it's normal. I think stress is a good thing. I don't think that people should, like, shy away from that. I think that obviously you should know how to control it and stuff. But I think that if your life isn't stressful, you don't go through pain. And obviously as a business, it's like every day you go through some sort of stressful event, right? But I don't think there's a way that you can really, like, deal with it as a certain extent, apart from just do what's required. Like, you know, obviously journaling sometimes I think helps. But like I say, yeah, generally for me, it's like do some sort of exercise, because that rapidly changes my mood. Like, I feel so much better when I've ran or I've done some sort of exercise. That's my first thing. And then, yeah, I think it's just like a lot of thinking. Like, I spend a lot of time by myself, so God, I think a lot. Like, I think that's an important thing. I mean, use AI. Like, for me now, like, ChatGPT is like something I just sit there and just, like, open the mic and run into it and get a lot of positive feedback as well, in terms of, like, right, this is what you need to do. So
Yeah.
there's an element to that as well. I feel that helps, but I think it's normal to go through those sort of periods of
Yeah, it's the labeling of, like, what does this mean? You know what I mean? And I'm the same. It's like the challenge is just like you can get hit, you know what I mean? And then, like, you're in the moment of the challenge, but then right away after, as you say, yeah, you wrap up the day, you go for a walk, you go to the gym, you listen to something, and then you're able to turn it into, like, an inspiration,
yeah, 100%.
right?
I agree. I guess, like, just to wrap up on then, like, considering this has been very much mindset related, which I think is great. Like, if you had to give one piece of advice to someone that maybe is struggling with their mindset at the moment, maybe feels down or feels that they can't reach their goal, or maybe has always has struggled, like, what would you say to someone, like, in that situation? Like, what's the kind of biggest piece of advice that you could give them?
Well, it's simple, and it's what we talked about throughout the whole chat here now. It's like control the controllable.
Mm.
Like, the mind is very wild, you know, but it's control the controllable. Like, put your feet in the ground, as you say, and then what can you do today?
Yeah.
Meaning, okay, maybe I need to, like, just go to bed at 9 so I can wake up fresh in the morning, and that's all I do. So control the controllable, and that's why we love the body, because you have so many good things, right? That they can put you back into that confidence and into that mindset. I truly believe, like, the routines, as you say, getting up in the morning, centering yourself, writing your thoughts down, go into a sauna or an ice bath. Like, for people, it sounds like a lot of things, but for us, it's like one little kickstart, 30 minutes for yourself, and then boom, you're on.
And you feel so much better.
And dude, like, it's so empowering
Mm.
because it's almost like a shower, a mental shower every
Yeah.
day. Most people, they're fucked.
It's time to think.
Bro, they're fucked. Like,
Yeah.
they're on their phone, going to bed, wake up, touch their phone, go out, eat their shitty breakfast, go into a car, and then go to work, and then talk to their shitty colleagues.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And then they watch shitty TV when they get back home. So I think it's like control the controllable, and then cut out as much of their intellect, like, intake of rubbish,
Yeah.
what goes into the mind.
Change your environment, isn't it? Like, the space of the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Improve your environment.
Yeah, just be the weird one, you know, like, go to bed early and then get up and then do your routine, and then just within that routine, you will figure out the next thing.
Mm.
You will write down, oh, maybe I should research this. Oh, maybe, do I really want to work here anymore? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? That's the space and the time you're creating for yourself.
It's so true. Again, just to fully, like, to end on that, I agree. I feel like you naturally have a tendency of working things out. And again, like, going back to my exercise example, like, you asked me about what I do in times of stress. Like, even this week, like, there's a few things in the business that were stressing me out. Went to the gym, trained. Literally, when I was at the gym and I was training, I had, like, the most incredible thought process. And I was like, shit, like, this is what I need to do. So I got my phone out. I started speaking to ChatGPT throughout my entire session, but just, like, voicing stuff that I felt like I needed to voice. And by the time I got to the end of the session, this is an hour, everything was clear. I was like, this is what I need to do. This is what I've been lacking. This is what I've been missing. This is how I'm going to solve this problem.
Yeah.
So it's just having thinking time, whether the thinking time is through training, whether it's through an ice bath, which is a freaking brilliant time to think because there's nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Like everything is like sauna.
Yeah.
Like it's taking time to think and assess is, like you say, people out of bed, alarm, shitty breakfast, straight to work, bouncing off the wall. When have you actually had a chance to reflect on things?
And you feel it, right? Like you feel it sometimes when you do it yourself. Like you go home maybe and you have like a week of doing things that's maybe not like the way you normally do it. You feel it straight away, right?
You feel it, right? I think we could probably carry on for ages, but I think we got
You're still doing something if you want to. Yeah.
we have to wrap up on.
Yeah. What would you say? Last thing for you, like, what would you say if someone like struggles right now to just accelerate in life and like maybe he's back home in the UK and he's like he come across your profile?
Honestly, like, and I'm not saying this in terms of like trying to sell or anything like that. It would be to get a coach or to get someone to help you. I genuinely do believe that like finding someone to help you is the most important thing. If I look at a lot of the biggest people who had influence in my life, whether that's mentors, all that kind of stuff, they've helped me so much. And I just think you have to find someone to help you. And I think you have to invest in yourself to be able to really get to where you want to be. I just think you have to do it. Like you have to find the money. And if people are, I haven't got the money, it's like you find it. Credit card, like whatever it has to be. But if you get the right person, whether that is to help you lose weight, to help you improve your business, whatever it is, it's a life-changing investment.
Yeah.
Right. You're always going to get a return on it. So I feel like that is the advice I would give someone. Not a plug, but genuinely find something for someone, something within your budget.
Yeah.
Is going to change your life. Otherwise,
stay stuck. The same thing again.
Stay stuck. Yeah.
Brother. Chop. There we go.
Great episode.